Hey, Nation, we're back with Marvin Bee and MB Systems out of Southern Florida. How you doing, Marvin?
I am good, Harry. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. We need to talk more often. So you said there's a couple changes afoot over in your podcast series, your event series, what have you. What's news?
Well, the first thing that your listeners probably need to know is that my podcast has changed. It used to be Podnuts Pro. The focus of the podcast has stayed the same, but the name is now Uncle Marv's IT Business Podcast. So we got the name a little bit more generic so people understand what it's about. So of course, it's still about, helping IT business owners run their business better, smarter, and faster.
Yeah, good. So what and the audience is still the same. So MSPs, channel partners, computer people.
Yeah, pretty much. We did start to branch out into a couple of other topic areas. So we are focused a little bit more in terms of providing series. So we're providing series for business owners that may not always have to do with tech. Sometimes it just has to do with what does it mean to be a business owner? My last episode that we did focused on the journey. How do we see ourselves in our current state? And how do we see ourselves reaching the end goal? And some of us started our businesses for completely different reasons than why we're running it right now. And 27 years later in my business, that's exactly where I'm at.
Yeah, I can relate to that. When I got involved in 97 with the small business server, sort of my claim to fame, we didn't even really talk about channel partners. They didn't even have the word MSP. We were more focused on the product stack, right? That here's this really cool server that that you can have, and we just didn't know, right? The law firm might have a computer professional on staff, right? And then in the early 2000s, it became apparent that this was really a channel partner play, Microsoft partner play. So we had to change our messaging. But the point is this: when I started SMB Nation and went on this journey, I really didn't think in terms of, MSPs and channel partners and all that. I got into it because the product was so cool. And now look where we're all at, right? I mean, a lot of the conversations I have deal with the channel, and that's good and bad, right? It's channel conflict, vendors increasing their prices, consolidation, as you're aware, in our industry. We're kind of getting down to just a couple large players in our industry now with all the acquisitions, and so that's to be blunt, that's not what I got into this business for.
No, myself included. And you're right. We are more reliant on our vendor partnerships than ever before. And any change that they make affects us and affects our clients. And especially if you've got a client that is, you locked in for a 1 year or 2 year deal, and your vendor suddenly, increases your cost by, 25%, it may be just a few dollars. But when you add that up to a client, if it's a $500 change, they may say, no, we're not going to do that.
No, I agree. Nor would I. I mean, I use vendors in the day-to-day operations of my business. An example is MailChimp. I think my bill has gone from $270 to $350 a month. Now, I'm a media organization with a large list, so I do have to pay something. But it's frustrating. I called Jenny on my staff. I said, what's going on? Oh, they just increased their prices.
Yeah.
Because they can, and the switching cost is so high. It's not that easy to leave MailChimp and go to Constant Contact. You know what I mean? There's what do you call opt-in email stuff, right? You can't just move a list over and Constant Contact's going to go, did these people really opt in?
Right.
And that kind of thing. So, let's talk about cybersecurity. I think you said, not cyber insurance. I think you said you did a recent show on that, or you've been investigating that conversation.
Yeah, that has taken a nice little turn. And on the face of it, it looks like it is a great thing for us because cyber insurance companies are now telling their customers, if you want to get insurance, you're going to have to do these things. And they have actually listed out on their applications what those things are. And it's kind of interesting. Not only are they listing what they are, they're actually now recommending, and I say that loosely because it's not that they're recommending, but what they're doing is they're putting together a little cyber glossary at the end of their application. And when they talk about something where, well, you should have endpoint detection and response as part of your cybersecurity package. Oh, and here are some common providers. So now customers are seeing the names of the companies we use. And a lot of times, MSPs and IPT providers, we don't want to give them the name because we may decide to change as part of our package.
Yeah.
But now the customers are seeing, Carbon Black Cloud, CrowdStrike, Falcon Insight, SentinelOne, Windows Defender Endpoint. And they're going to simply say, well, can we just go with something that's on this list because that's what the insurance company wants? And that may not be exactly what they want, but when they give examples, that's what our customers are going to choose.
Yeah. No kidding. That's boy, we're sure seeing a lot of chatter regarding insurance. And here again, going back to my earlier comment, I'm not an active MSP, haven't carried the bag in some time, but that alone could have been enough to drive me out of the business. Whoa, I'm now on the hook for these breaches. And as you well know, the MSP, the one that talks to many is a target, right? So MSPs are a channel and they have many clients. And if you can penetrate the MSP, ergo, you can penetrate the client, the clients, as we well know. And I'd be like, I think it's about time to go buy that franchise for overhead doors. I'm going to install garage doors and just write it out.
Well, there is that YouTube influencer thing that's out there. You could go be an influencer.
There we go. Well, hey, let's check in. Let's get you back in rotation and check in soon with you again on what's news. Anything on the horizon in terms of events? Are you planning to go to some events? Where might we see you?
So I do have a couple of events that I'm looking at. The only one that I have technically committed to in the IT space is the TechCon Unplugged. And that is happening this September in Chicago. And I'll send you a link for that you can include in your show notes as well, TechCon Unplugged. Yeah. And it's a great little small conference for MSPs and small business providers. And one of those very intimate situations where you get to, literally, sit side by side in the discussions that you have instead of just being, in the audience and having a vendor on stage. It's all up close and personal.
Yeah. I just flew in late last night. I spent the week in my adjacent industry. My startup, I went to the Bazinga Cannabis Capital Conference down in Miami for a couple of days. And that was intimate at 600 people compared to, in our industry, the big show MJ BizCon is now north of 35,000 people. So 600 is actually intimate.
Yep, that is true. Let's see, another event that I'll be at one of the ASCII Success Summits. They're going to be down in my neck of the woods in October. So I will be visiting that. And then I've got a couple of others that I'm looking at. I just haven't committed yet. It's a busy year. So we've got a family reunion that we've been trying to do for 2 years. So we think we're going to be able to pull that off this summer. So.
Yeah. All right, Marvin.
All right, Harry. Nice chatting with you.
Yep.